Hello everyone, this is the daily reading for April 1st. Wow. 2019 is like flying by. We're already almost halfway in. That's crazy. April 1st. The real message. These readings are general. They're not going to resonate with everyone. If I resonate with you, you can reach me at the links in the description box below. 3 ways to reach me, 3 ways to donate. The shop is back open. Has been for, I don't know, a while now. A few days, a week. Yeah, all readings are done by donation, and donation is required in order to receive a reading. However, the amount is entirely up to you. These messages are not for everyone. Like, yeah, they're general on their own, but these messages are also not for just the general. I debated using this deck. This is the Divine Feminine deck. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, the Divine Feminine Oracle. Because I can't pronounce all the names, y'all know I slaughter names. But I wanted to use it anyway. I'll hold the card up so y'all can see the name if I can't pronounce it. April 1st. Oh, in meditation, what I saw was I was sitting... much like I'm sitting now, but, you know, a little bit more upright, like as if I was in meditation. And I had, you know, at first I had my hands on my knees, and then I saw me hold my hands out and grab another set of hands. Never opening my eyes, though, but looking with my mind's eye across from me, I saw the person's hands that I was holding, that I was meditating with, giving and receiving energy to and from, was also me. Very interesting and powerful image, especially in Aries season with the new moon in Aries coming up. This is amazing energy, right, for personal growth. And yeah, I don't know, I just thought that was a really powerful image. You know, when we think about giving and receiving energy, we always, or most of us, at least me, we always think about another person, you know, who we're giving to and who we're receiving from, and if that's an even exchange of energy, if we're being fair with them or they're being fair with us. So to see that other person being you, it kind of puts it into perspective. You know, are you being fair with you? Are you receiving from yourself what you should and giving to yourself what you should? Going within and really being whole and working on self and not having to look outside for happiness and answers and fairness and things like this. So it was actually really nice. It was, like I said, very powerful. I wanted to get at least one more. Of course, can't pronounce this one. Khadijah, maybe? So I think this is Khadijah, I'm not sure. The mother of believers. I am spiritually and financially abundant. I provide heaven and earth for myself. Interesting that that comes out with the meditation that I had. Like giving and receiving to myself. Giving to myself. Receiving from myself. The energy exchange. And yeah, just going within and holding my own hand. You know, when you hold someone's hand, right? I talk about that in other videos. Like, I'm not here to hold your hand to an extent. Like, I will hold your hand and meet you where you are, but I'm not going to hold your hand like a baby. And I've said this in many, many videos, and I still get emails today of people telling me that I'm missing information, I'm wasted potential, and I get some very, very hateful emails. No, I'm not. And if you've been following me, and if you go back and watch the videos, if you're supposed to be here, you will know I'm not here to hold your hand and start at level 0. You should already be to a certain level if you come to find me. And if there's something that resonates, but not all of it, take what resonates, leave the rest. But if you feel interested, or if you feel pulled to me or drawn to me for whatever reason, and you're not quite caught up, then either you need to just say that and ask me, and we'll see what we can do. Or stop and go do some research and go do some meditation and you know, do some self-work and then come back. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, that, I'm not here to hold your hand, right? I'm just here to do what I'm doing. And so, yeah, when I saw myself holding my own hand, I think that's a really powerful message. You know, stand on your own 2 feet. Don't rely on anyone else to hold your hand. And I love how this is, I provide heaven and earth for myself. Damn straight. Perpetua, that's probably so slaughtered, and I'm so sorry, no disrespect, just horrible at names. The Saint of Authenticity. I am my authentic self in all circumstances. I love that. I love that. No one changes me. I don't change for anything. I don't have to mutate and form. And you always want to be somewhat adaptable, right? For your environment, wherever you're going to be thrown, you want to be able to adapt and survive and sort of blend, but that doesn't mean you have to compromise yourself. So I love that this is, I am my authentic self in all circumstances. Like, I don't have to change, right? And I get that a lot. Speaking of private emails, the hateful ones, it's, excuse me, it's almost like people try to get me to go outside of who I am on camera. And that's one of the reasons, like, sometimes I have to pull back, because on the videos, people will say, oh, you don't need to do this, or you don't need to do that, or you don't need to cuss so much, or you need to do it like this, or you should do it like this to get a bigger channel or create more of a crowd. You know what? That may be great advice. I'm sure that it is. I'm sure that it is. And for someone that wants a career in YouTube, that is amazing advice, and I'm sure they will take that and they will run with it, and they will have many subscribers and charge hundreds of dollars per reading, and that is all great. No hate, no shade, awesome, right? But me, I don't fucking have time for that. What you see is what you get. Who I am on camera is who I am in person, is who I am on the phone, is who I am in my emails. Like, that's it. You get one me. Of course, there's many sides and facets to a person, yes, but this is me. I'm not going to be one way on camera and then live my life a separate way, because that's not what I'm doing here. Though you have to say, right, for all legal purposes, this is for entertainment only. We know that it's not. And I'm not going to sit up here and tell you all that your main purpose is to be authentic and allow people to witness you in that. And that is how you change. This is how we make profound changes as one person, right? As one being. We're authentic, and we allow people to witness that. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you this shit so that I can act one way on camera and be a different way in an email or in person or whatever, or live my life a completely different way. Yeah, so I love this card, that I am my authentic self in all circumstances. Ten of Wands. First card out, Ten of Wands, oppression. I just got the phrase, like, turning up the heat. Seven of Pentacles in the reverse position. Failure. In this deck, it is failure. and the tree is dying. It's like he's worked all of this time in this harvest and done all of this, and the tree didn't, not only did it not grow or bear fruit, I mean, it's just dying. It's almost, there's no chance, right, of saving it. But it comes in reverse. So it's almost like if you were to lay down some of these burdens, right, and get out from underneath this oppression, whatever that may be for you, whether it's looking outside of yourself to find heaven and earth and abundance, spiritual wealth, material wealth, these things, always relying on someone outside of you, right? Or if it's always trying to be someone that you're not so that you're accepted, or so that your audience is bigger, or so that you have a bigger group of friends, or so that people are more nice to you, or whatever it may be, whatever these burdens may be for you, they may be those as well as everyday responsibilities, you know, like we live busy lives. It's tough. It's like I tell my kids, you know, it's a cold motherfucker out here. And that's why I'm the type of person that I am. Like, if you come to me as someone wanting advice or guidance, I mean, my children especially, like, we're not going to baby it or sugarcoat it, because ain't nobody else out there going to do that shit for you. And when you leave me, I need to know that you're going to be okay. I need to know that you're going to survive, right? It's a cold out there, and I need you to be ready for that, right? We live hard lives, but we don't have to carry it all the time. And I think that's where a lot of us get not mixed up, but stuck. That's where we get stuck, right? Because it is so cold out there, and we do have to have our guard up most of the time, and we don't have a lot of help most of the time. So it hardens us in a way, you know, and I think we need to remember that we can lay some of this down, and because when we're so weighted, we may not move very well, which could cause failure, right? But this coming in reverse tells me the opposite of failure. So perhaps it's time to put down some of our burdens and put down whatever these burdens may be. I'm sure there's several, and for everyone it will be different, in order to succeed, right? And nurture whatever it is we are doing or want to do, whether those be projects or personal growth, relationships, whatever it is. I know a lot of people, a lot of readings that I'm doing recently are, I don't think I've ever done a reading where someone just wants one area of life looked at, but career seems to be a huge focus right now. And a lot of people, they're like, I'm putting in job after job after job after job, application, interview, and I'm just not getting anything back. Definitely not something or anything that I want. And it's like all signs point to yes, and I think it's a go, and I have the experience. I have more than enough experience, and, you know, I'm young, and I'm hungry, and I'm this, and I'm that, and it's just not coming. It's just not happening. Perhaps there's a reason why, okay? Perhaps the universe knows something that you don't, okay? Is it possible that you're having a tower moment? Is it possible that you're looking in all the wrong places, okay? It doesn't matter how long you've been doing something and how great you are at it. If it's not your true path and you're not authentic while you're doing it, and you are constantly relying on something outside of yourself to provide for you, both spiritually and physically, perhaps this is why you're being blocked. Maybe this is why things are failing. Maybe you need to lay down some of the responsibility. It's interesting the way that they're showing this to me, because it's like they're showing me like laying down responsibility as well as picking up responsibility. But, okay, so it's like they're laying down, okay, so it's like they have, see how he has both arms, like, right? So if he were to lay down all of these, but pick up only 3 that he could hold like this, or only 1, you know, something that he could hold just like this. So you lay it down and replace it with something else, but the one that you replace it with is far less burdensome. It's much lighter. And I think it's because it's relying on self. Like, I feel like a lot of these wands are outside. Like, a lot of these wands belong to someone else and are dependent on someone else's actions and reactions. And this is perhaps why some of the things have been failing. So we lay down these and we pick up the ones that only belong to us, right? And I'm also getting this, like, they're showing me these trees swaying like this. So I'm getting the sense that we should be more flexible and more open. Very interesting. So yeah, I think the Tower is happening a lot for people right now. And, you know, yes, the Tower, it looks, I mean, look at that. It looks scary, right? It looks chaotic, and oftentimes in a lot of decks it is the card for chaos. But definitely change, but the change does not always have to be so drastic, you know? And I love that, like, the lightning is shooting from this eye in the sky. So many meanings there. You could take that in so many ways, but I just feel like the way I'm seeing it currently is like the mind's eye, like the eye of the universe, knowing what is best for you when you can't necessarily see it yourself. There's so much change happening. But like I said, that was going to be all of 2019. More wands. King of Wands. So we go from setting down the ones that do not belong to us, right? So that we can get out from under this oppression, so that we can stop failing and look at what really serves us. Where should we be investing? You know, like I said, a lot of these people, and it's not just career, but that seems to be coming up a lot. I mean, obviously, reading tarot, you do a lot of love readings as well, but also, you know, I come into a lot of, like, it's just relationship after relationship after relationship failed, whatever the relationship is, romantic, business, friend, family, doesn't matter. And so perhaps you're putting your energy in the wrong places, in the wrong people, in the wrong areas of life in general, right? So you have this Tower moment that comes in to knock everything down, to allow you to reassess where you should be spending your energy, where it would be more productive, more received, better suited, where it would allow you to be more self-sufficient, okay, and more authentic in your own right. And I say that because we live in the real world, and in the real world, especially in corporate America, if you are in America, corporate period, you cannot be, for the most part, you can't be who you are when you're at home, right? You put on, you put on a different voice and you put on a different face when you answer the phone or when you answer the door to your job versus when you go home and you answer the phone. Like, you're much more lax, right? You're much more you. You're very, oftentimes, business and professional. You speak with a certain tone. You really, like, make sure your words are pronounced correctly, and, you know, all of these things. So maybe, not say, like, even if it's your business is still business, right? Business is still business, and you need to treat it like a business in order to be successful. However, maybe there's a way to do something that is not only more self-sufficient, but also allows you to be you. Just allows you to be you. And so after this Tower moment, you have this King of Wands, which is looking towards the future, right? This is a person who acts. This is an action card, and it's a person who acts not necessarily fast, but when they see what they want, they go for it. And to me, the King of Wands sees potential where not everyone else can, and it sees potential for the long haul. It's not short-term gratification, especially in the upright. So perhaps It's like some of the things that you're working on, maybe they're not even failing, okay? Maybe they're just taking longer than expected, okay? Maybe they're being deleted completely. But if it's for the long haul, you know, if you're looking to be set for life, you cannot expect it to happen overnight or even within a year or 2 years or 3 years, right? If you're looking at building something that's going to last for, let's say, the rest of your life, right? So let's say we'll meet in the middle. Let's say you're 40 and the rest of your life, you know, we'll take it on the short end. Let's say you live to 80, right? So if you're working on something at 40 that you want to last until you're 80, you want it to last for 40 years. You can't expect it to grow and be built in a year or 2 or even 5, right? And then most people that build things in businesses, they want it to last for their kids or their whoever they decide to pass things down to. So you're not looking for 40 years, you're looking for 140 years. You know, you're looking for several generations. You cannot expect something like that to just overnight. You also will have to work out kinks. Here is what I'm seeing. Like, you invest some things, right? You start out with all of these wands here, and this is not just business. This is everything, okay? Whatever it is, you start with all of these expectations and all of these responsibilities, right? And it's so heavy, and you want to do everything right, and do it like this and do it like that. And then you find that a lot of those things don't work, right? So you let them die away. You let that foundation fall. You save the lumber and the wiring and the copper and whatever you can from this, and you start to rebuild, right? You save whatever was working and you let the rest fall away for the long haul, right? There is potential in it, whatever it is, but it is within you. Wow. So the Three of Swords, sorrow, comes out in the reverse position. So for those of you thinking like it's never going to happen, oh, it's going to happen. When this Tower moment comes, and like I said, the Tower doesn't always have to be complete destruction. It doesn't always have to be, you know, extravagant and chaotic. It can be simple, small changes, right? A little tweak here, a little tweak there. You come out of this. Like I said, for those of you that think it's never going to happen, it does, especially after this Tower moment. But if you continue to hold on to all of these things that are not working, of course it's going to fail. That's what happens, right? You can't hold on to dead things. I mean, you can, but you need a taxidermist or something. You'll need some way to preserve that, and then what it's worth. What's it worth? When something dies, in order to save it, you'll need to gut it, stuff it, let it petrify, whatever. It will have to go through some form of preservation. And then what's it good for? It's good for looking at. That's it. You can put it on a shelf and that is it. That's all it's good for. You can't do anything else with it. So why would you want to keep that when it comes to your life, right? When it comes to your relationships or your businesses or yourself. Once it's dead, the only way to preserve it is to preserve it just like that. And then it doesn't do anything, right? It just sits there. It's stagnant. And that's what we never want to be. We never want to be stagnant. So of course, if you continue to hold on to this shit, it's going to fail. But if you set them down and pick up only what belongs to you and let the things die, if it's dead, it's dead. Fuck it, it's dead, right? Let it destroy, let it wash away, whatever. Save what works. Look towards the future. All right. And you do start to repair. And not only that, but you'll hear me talk about the Three of Swords as lessons. That is what it is. The Three of Swords. Yes, nobody wants to get that card. However, it's in that state of vulnerability and only in that state that you're able to learn certain lessons. And they're very important life lessons. And we need them. So not only do you start to grow and progress for the long haul, but you go forward with lessons as well? You start to repair, you start to renew. And 2019, a lot of people are experiencing a lot of crazy things. Like I told y'all since 2018, since around November, it's going to be rough. That doesn't mean it's going to be bad. However, the more you resist these moments, the harder it will be. The Nine of Pentacles. Gain. I love it. I love how this story is just playing out. It's beautiful. Right? Like it's just flowing. Right? And as I talk about being self-sufficient, and even from the beginning in meditation, like seeing myself across from myself, you know, because when I see in meditation, oftentimes when I see people touching, especially holding hands, it is a transference of energy. So to me, like I said, it's, you know, self-sufficient and relying on self, going within. And the Nine of Pentacles is, yes, it's about wealth, it's about gain, but it's about being, sustaining self and being independent, right? I always see the Nine of Pentacles as like, not necessarily, it's not, I don't see it like the Ten of Pentacles, which is like where you can just relax. Like the Ten of Pentacles would be more like retirement to me. Where you're just set and you don't have to worry about or work anymore. Whereas the Nine of Pentacles, I see it as you're set. You still have to work, but you can take time when you want to, right? Like you've got some cushion, you've got some room to play. That's how I see the Nine of Pentacles. So I think that that's beautiful. I also see it as a more, I don't know, it comes across to me as a more youthful energy, not necessarily speaking about age, but just the energy. Okay. So then you have interference, the Eight of Swords. Okay, and the way that this comes over, under this Seven of Pentacles in reverse, what I do want to say is I feel like once we are getting through these, some of us are falling back into our old habits, our old ideas, our old whatever. Like, you know, you get stuck doing something a certain way. And even when you find that it doesn't work and new systems are implemented and they're working, oftentimes when things get tough, you revert back to what you know, even if what you know proved time and time again to not work. So I feel like this is a warning, right? To not fall back into picking up those old pentacles that were dead, okay? And to not picking up those wands that didn't belong to us, right? Whatever that may mean to you. So if someone is not pulling their weight, and this goes for romantic relationships, businesses, whatever, if someone is not pulling their weight, then either speak on this, get that shit taken care of, or release them, let them go, okay? Bottom line, simple. If it is you, right, that is slowly reverting back to old ways, catch that shit in its tracks, reassess, lay the wands back down. If you catch yourself watering dead plants and picking up wands that don't belong to you, okay? Just stop. Yeah, just stop. And it can be hard. I feel like it sounds silly when I say it, but I see it happen all the time with myself and with other people. And it's because we are creatures of habit. The Empress. Now, she is coming in reverse here, but she's coming under the Tower, right? Again, I feel like this is a warning. There's a few things I'm feeling here. So, like, if we hover over a project, it's like eventually you have to give something time to grow, right? When you start something and when you implement changes especially, right, you have to give them time to grow. You have to give them time to change, right? A lot of times we will see that something doesn't work. And so we will go ahead and we will implement these changes. And again, I see this all the time in any type of anything, business, relationship, romantic, whatever. We will say, okay, this isn't working and we need to change this. And so we'll change it, whatever it is. And we'll give it a day or two, and we're not seeing the results that we want, right? Sometimes even a week or two, right? We're not seeing results. And because we are creatures of habit, and because we are impatient, right? Because the world moves fast, it's hard not to want to move fast. We revert back. We revert back. We don't even allow whatever it was, we don't give it time to grow, right? So what do? We go back and we hover and we over nurture. It's like that mama hen syndrome, right? You can literally over nurture and hover over something to the point where you smother it out, right? It's like if you've ever built a fire, right? When the fire gets going, if you poke and prick at it too much and, you know, rearrange the wood, you will put it out. Like, it'll be burning really good and you want it to, you know, you just want to keep playing with it, you'll put it out. Same thing with plants. If you keep watering them, you will drown them, right? Same thing with people and businesses. If you keep, you know, you've got to give something time, right? You've got to give it time. You've got to give it space. You've got to give it space. So yeah, I feel like here it's like a warning that don't revert back to old ways, whatever you're going through, okay? And it will be hard. You've heard me talk about Gemini, Mars being in Gemini. This is like tangent time. It really is. This is like any little thing is, you know, especially being in Aries season, any little thing can make you flip and really like go off on a tangent. And so I feel like it's like, just be aware of what we're doing, what we're saying, how we're acting, the time that we are allowing something to grow. Okay, so the tower, the Empress in reverse is coming over this tower. So again, I feel like there are things that we need to let go of. There are things that are not working, right? Empress is the card of abundance. It is the card of creation. So that is what I'm getting with that. And then the Sun comes over under the King of Wands, I'm sorry, with the Five of Swords, defeat, coming in the reverse position. I'm telling you, you're coming out of that space of defeat, all right? The High Priestess coming in the reverse position with the Queen of Wands. I love that the King and the Queen are sort of mirroring each other here. You know, it looks like, almost like, let me move all of this shit up. Not almost. It looks exactly like. This looks like the struggle of life. This looks like the struggle of life, right? It's like you get a little bit of happiness, you get a little bit of headway, and then you're knocked back. And you revert back. And then you try to implement some changes, but they don't work, but you're not giving them time to work because you're impatient, and then you revert back. Right? And then you see a little bit of headway, the sun comes out, you start gaining whatever it is. Like if it's a romantic relationship, you're doing good, everybody's happy, you get in one little fight, you revert back. If it's a business, you're doing good, you know, you're making profit, whatever, and then you have a bad day, you lose a little bit of money, and instead of looking like at the overall week or the overall month, you just look at that day and you're like, damn, I lost $5,000 today, or whatever it is, you know, instead of looking at the overall and like, damn, you know, I profited 20,000 this month, or, you know, this week or whatever. So I feel like this is really that, this is just that life. This is that, you know, you win some, you lose some, but being able to see the bigger picture here and know that you're not being defeated, that you are coming out of this state of sorrow and loss, but you have to believe that you are, right? You have to, because the mind sets the pace for more than what I think people give it credit for. So if you are in a low vibration, you will manifest low. I posted about this the other day. You will manifest and resonate and pull in low vibrational shit. If you think you're going to fail all the time, you most likely will fail. You know, I watch James Charles, and he always asks me what I watch. I watch weird shit. But I love it when he says, like, we're going to do blah, 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 blah. And then the other person will be like, no, we're not. And he's like, well, not with that attitude, you're not. I love that because it's so true. Like, not with that attitude, you're not. Like, if you have the attitude that you're going to do it, you're going to do it. I mean, shit. And if you don't, at least you're going to look good while you do it, right? Or while you fail. But yeah, if you, I mean, there's a bigger chance of you doing something if you hold the mindset that you're gonna do it than if you go in like, I'm gonna fail. Well, then you're probably gonna fail. So you have the High Priestess here in reverse coming under this Nine of Pentacles and this Ten of Wands. So I feel, again, I feel like you get a little headway and then you revert back, right? You ignore your intuition, you ignore things that are happening, you see something and you know what's best, but you revert back to what you've always done, even though you know it's not the best for you. And then you have this Queen of Wands here, which again, I love that they're mirroring each other. It's like, when she's coming under here, it's like when it starts to fail, when it starts to die, and you start to feel that interference and you start to revert back, she comes in and she's like, no, right? No, she cuts it off where it's at. Like, no, I'm independent. I will stand. It's almost like she gets a little bit sad and down and starts ignoring herself or himself. This is just the energy, right? She gets a little bit bad, down, ignoring in that, you know, in that space you get, and then she like snaps out of it real quick, like, no, we're going forward, we're about to do this shit, and we're going to do it fast, right? We're going to go where we need to go, we're going to say what we need to say, we're going to write what we need to write, and we're going forward with the quickness. So these low points that I'm seeing, you don't have to stay there long. You don't have to stay there long. In fact, I would say it's an amazing time to see how quickly you can really come out and like really change shit around. Especially we're about to have a new moon in Aries, right? So Sun in Aries, new moon in Aries. Amazing, amazing time for transformation and expansion and personal growth in whatever area you decide. Progress. Yes, of course it will be progress. Projects, relationships, whatever it is. However, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that I think it's going to square with Saturn. I don't know, you'll have to go look it up, but I think, if I remember correctly, it's going to square with Saturn, which is going to cause like a hiccup. It's not going to go off the chain like as it should, as smooth as it should. Like, even though it's an amazing opportunity to move swift and expand, right? And sort of take back your power and stand on your own and do whatever it is you're setting out to do. There will be some blockages, perhaps, with that square. However, at least for a few more days, and maybe 7 or 8 days, I don't know, all the planets will be direct. Right? Nothing in retrograde, which almost never happens. So it's almost like the low points, whatever blockages come, boom, like you're going to find a way to, like, whether it's the motivation or the help or the resources or whatever it is, it's like, it's real fast. You know what I mean? Whatever blockages come, it's like, boom, you're just knocking them down. The Lovers with the Seven of Cups in reverse, with the Emperor in reverse, the Prince of Cups in the upright, Four of Pentacles in reverse, and Two of Pentacles. Okay, let's see here. I love that the King of Wands, the Sun, and the Lovers come just like this, with the Eight of Wands on this side and the Seven of Cups on this side in the reverse position. The choice is yours. You can stay stagnant or you can move forward toward reality. See, the thing about the Seven of Cups, yes, it's the Dreamer's card, right? So oftentimes when I get it in reverse, it's like snap back into reality. But what I'm seeing here is like, this is your reality. And that card comes under the Three of Swords that's in reverse, coming out of the sorrow space, under the Five of Swords, coming out of the space of feeling defeated, snapping back into reality very quickly. Like I said, for all of these low points, you know. And the card of Gemini, I believe, is this the only? No, the Tower and the High Priestess. Okay. Oh, and the Sun. I'm like, is that the only major arcana? No, quite a few major arcana. So, yeah, I love that, you know, Gemini is about the twins, but it's also about gravity. It's about that magnet. It's about that balance, right? So there's a balance of just this, I don't know, like I said, it's like life. This is like everyday life. And I love that that it comes here. It's like you have the choice to let the sun shine on you. You have the choice to act swift. You have the choice to snap back into reality or stay where you are, right? I love that. I love that. With the Emperor in reverse here, again, I feel like at times you can feel like you're losing control. Look at all of these. Like, you've got the Emperor, the Empress, and the Emperor. You've got the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands. You've got like this whole like mirror thing going. I love it. With the Prince of Cups coming in and the Four of Pentacles in reverse. Now, we got that the other day. It's like, allow people to come in and make offers. Allow yourself to be, I'm getting this, like, flexible. Like, they keep showing me these trees, right? Take the offer. Whether it's from yourself or for someone else, you know, take a chance. Don't hold on so tight. And we see this in the beginning. Don't hold on so tight. Like I said, once it's dead, let it go. And if you're holding on to something so tight, how can you receive anything else? All right. With this Two of Pentacles comes underneath the Lovers. I love it. It's this balance. It's this juggle. It is life. Change. Allow the change. Look, I love this. King of Wands, the Sun, the Lovers, and the Two of Pentacles. Oh, that's the wrong deck. Wealth. The Ten of Pentacles at the very end of the spread. Stick with it. I'm telling you, stick with it. I love it. I love it. And like I said over here with the, see the Nine of Pentacles, and I said it's not like the Ten of Pentacles, right? It's where you still have to work, where this is much more, it's much more like retired, like you don't have to work as hard if ever again, right? So in the middle of the reading, you get the Nine of Pentacles, like you're still moving forward. You hit some bumps and blockages, but you keep going. You knock that shit out, and you keep going to the, I mean, you're going to be successful. I love it. I love it. Now we have the Fool at the bottom of the deck in the reverse position, the Last Judgment in reverse underneath that, and the Prince of Pentacles with the Ace of Swords. Okay, I absolutely love this for the overall energy, the bottom of the deck. So like, it's like we get this where we are having trouble, right, which we see at the beginning of the reading with the Ten of Wands, but we're having trouble taking that leap. We're having trouble trusting and putting down things, especially if you've invested quite a bit. Like, it looks like he's been working so hard, right, to just be like, oh, fuck, it's dead, and I've got to trash the whole tree or the whole plant or the whole crop or whatever, right? That sucks. That sucks. He's invested a lot and he's worked really hard. So it can be hard to just do that and take that leap of faith knowing that everything's going to be okay. It can be hard to make that final decision, right? But overall, we see that it's very clear that the hard work and the loyalty to whatever it is you are dealing with, it does pay off. It does pay off. I just love that. So that's what I have for you. I love you all very much, and I'll see you next time.